I'm Mike, 51 years old, and I'm a novelist. Growing up in an orphanage, I always longed for a family. Eventually, I got married and had the family I always wanted. I was so happy and promised to cherish it forever. When I married my wife Alina, she had a 19-year-old daughter named Lily. Lily is now a respected editor at a publishing company. She has always loved novels, especially the works of the anonymous novelist Tom. She became an editor just to meet him. Tom's books are big hits, making him a best-selling author. There's a rumor that Tom will soon reveal his face in an exclusive interview and a paid online article at Lily's company. At the start of our marriage, not knowing how to connect, I focused on earning money for my daughter and becoming someone she could respect. I took care of household chores and never missed family outings and events. Even though I never knew a family growing up, I tried my best to give love to ours. But today, something unexpected happened. Today is my daughter's wedding day. Her partner, Brian, is into photography. Because of my busy schedule, I've only spoken to Brian via video calls and never met him in person, but he seems like a decent guy. Just before the wedding, I entered the bride's dressing room where my daughter and wife were. Suddenly, Lily said to me, "You old man with no blood relation, get out." She used to adore me as if we were blood related, and I thought we were close. I was confused by her words. "I've been looking forward to the day I could get revenge on you for bullying Mom. There's no seat for you today," she added. I had no idea what she was talking about. My wife just smirked upon hearing this. I was confused. Then my wife handed me a fill-out divorce form. I needed to think, so I left the dressing room to be alone. That's when I first met Brian. "Mike, hello." "Ah, yes. Can't believe we're meeting here. Is work okay?" "Work? Oh, well, yeah. It seemed Lily told Brian I couldn't attend the wedding because of work." I felt awkward about what had just happened. Could we talk for a moment? Then I learned a shocking truth. After hearing it, I decided to leave. I filed for divorce, took my things, and left the house. I rented an apartment and now live there alone. A month after the wedding, my wife called. "Hello, it's been a while. I thought it's about time we discussed dividing the assets. I've been a housewife with no income, so I'll need more than the usual amount. You need to buy the apartment we lived in and give it to me. I need a place to live." "I'd rather not," I instinctively replied. Her demanding tone irked me, especially after how she treated me a month ago. Did she really think I'd agree? I said no, didn't I? I refused to divide the property or buy the apartment. "You think it's okay for me to be left homeless? Well, it's your own doing, isn't it?" I told her something I learned from Brian. My wife panicked. "How do you know that? Why don't you stop dodging the question? This is seriously infuriating." "Ah, it's just the worst. Why does it always have to be me who ends up like this? Please, forget about it, Mike. Really, I'm begging you." Annoyed by my wife's wailing, I tried to continue the conversation. "How long will you keep tormenting Mom, you old man?" Lily." Suddenly, Lily took the phone. "Just get on with the property division already. I don't know what you're talking about, but you were bullying Mom, weren't you? Mom's crying, and you always made her cry like this." "No, calm down, Lily. You see, making excuses is so lame. That's just unacceptable. Just pay Mom the property division and compensation for all the bullying." "You're the worst old man." "So I'm the worst old man, huh? When will you pay?" "Wait a minute. Right now I'm getting help from a lawyer. Let's discuss the future with the lawyer." "Why do you need a lawyer?" "Well, is that okay?" "Fine, whatever you say. We're still the victims here." We agreed to meet a week later at the law firm I had hired, and the call ended. Thus, the day of the showdown was set for a week later. I had a well-thought-out plan prepared over the past month. That's why I took the call and set the appointment for 2 weeks later. On the day, my wife, daughter, and I gathered at the office with the lawyer. The four of us sat around a single table. My wife and daughter had grim expressions and glared at me. Let's begin discussing the divorce and property division between Mike and Alina. However, before that, Mike has something he wants to ask Lily. Me? Yeah, I have one thing I want to ask you. Please go ahead, Mike. I don't want to. The lawyer was surprised by my daughter's sudden refusal. Why do you get to take the lead? After all, it's Dad who's the bad one here. I find this very unpleasant. Can you stop talking down to me? I agree. Lawyer, please get it together. Ah, yes, understood. The lawyer looked troubled. My daughter and wife's assertive attitudes had him flustered. I spoke gently to my angry daughter. What I want to know is the part where you said it's originally my fault. What did I do wrong? What have I done? Please tell me one last time. When I pleaded with my head bowed, Lily was silent for a while before reluctantly telling me, Dad, you've been cheating all along, haven't you? The dad before you cheated and left us. I loved him so much. It hurt me so much to be betrayed so easily, choosing another woman over Mom, choosing his desires over his daughter. It all hurt. Seeing Mom cry every day was the hardest part. That's why I can't forgive cheating. I see. And what does that have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. You're cheating, aren't you? I knew because Mom told me you've been cheating for a long time. I thought you were different from that betrayer. I was confused by my daughter's story. I've never cheated, Lily. Calm down. I've never cheated, not even once. That's a lie. It's the truth. I swear to God I haven't. What exactly did Mom tell you? Glancing at my wife, she looked away uncomfortably like a child caught just before being scolded for a prank. She told me that Dad was always away from home because he was meeting his mistress. When the phone rings and he's whispering, it's because it's from his mistress. I saw it once, and the name of the caller was a woman's name. I knew what my daughter was talking about, but it wasn't cheating. I had another secret. As I took out an envelope from my bag, I asked my daughter, I heard about the previous dad cheating and running away before we got married from your mom. He's a terrible man. Hearing that story, I swore I'd never cheat. There's one thing I want you to confirm. What is it? Taking out a photo from the envelope, I showed it to her. It showed my wife and her ex-husband Eric walking arm in arm. What is this? Brian took this photo of Alina's cheating scene. Brian did? Lily and Alina were shocked. Brian really did a professional job. He captured both of their expressions clearly in the photo. The wrinkles on Alina's face were also perfectly visible, showing it was a recent photo. This was what Brian told me on the day of the wedding. When he went to a tourist spot for a photo shoot, he saw my wife with an unknown man. They were holding hands, clearly a couple. Brian, who knows my face, suspected an affair. Imagining the worst, he took a photo just in case. There's not just this photo. I also hired a detective agency and have photos of them entering a hotel. I laid out the copied photos on the table and explained them to my daughter. No way, that's really him. I've also looked into the ex-husband's background. Turns out he's a novelist just like me. Didn't he recently publish his second book? Mom, are these photos real? Mom, of all people, you cheated with him. Lily pressed her, and Alina became flustered. As Alina stayed silent, my daughter's anger heated up more and more. Alina kept quiet, but after a while suddenly started crying profusely. These are fake images. Just because your affair was discovered, don't pin the same sin on me. Why do you always try to corner me like this? Please don't bully me anymore, Lily. Don't believe such random printed photos. Amidst the silence, the lawyer and I were taken aback. I had expected this reaction to the copies, so I tried to show the original photos. You really are a terrible old man. You don't know our struggles, and at the first sign of trouble, you lie to save yourself. You're the absolute worst. You're nothing to me, forever a stranger. Lily placed her hand on Alina's back and gently stroked it. Then she glared at me fiercely. She sided with Alina. Seeing this, I instinctively realized that going back to how things were was impossible. No matter what evidence I presented, she would side with Alina. Her words made me feel that. I see. Understood. With that, I made a call to a certain place. I had decided to use my last resort. Hello, it's me. I'm sorry to call suddenly, but I need that matter to be as if it never happened. Yes, that matter. I'm truly sorry. I'll explain more later. With that, I hung up the phone. Both of them looked at me curiously. What was that call about? Probably his mistress, Alina said coldly. Indeed, I did meet with Eric occasionally, but that was to talk about our daughter. It wasn't a romantic relationship. Is it so strange to talk to an ex-husband about his daughter? To call that cheating, how narrow-minded can you be, Alina? Seeing that Lily was on her side, Alina suddenly became more assertive. Well, indeed, Eric has been saying he wants to get back together, hasn't he? I wasn't interested before, But I've changed my mind. I've decided to get back together with Eric. Eric is a popular author currently promoting his second book. He is completely different from obscure authors like you. I've never seen your books in stores. Unlike you, he has status, money, and a blood relation with Lily. My wife boasted proudly. Then Lily's phone started ringing off the hook. She answered the phone in a panic. Hello, this is Lily speaking. Yes, what? Her face grew paler and paler. By the end of the call, she was as white as a ghost. What should I do? What happened? The novelist Tom, who is scheduled to reveal his face soon, has decided to cancel it. Huh? Isn't that something not to panic about? It is a reason to panic because it's been announced for months now. It was supposed to be revealed along with the new book. Even my boss was super excited about his first face reveal. What will the fans say now that it's suddenly canceled? Oh, why all of a sudden? My words froze both of them. Yes, this was my secret. I am the novelist, Tom. Lily, you adore the novelist Tom, right? You heard me on the phone earlier. That was me talking to my editor. I said I'm canceling the face reveal. You both heard it, didn't you? No way. Are you saying you're Tom? That's impossible. Ignoring Lily's commotion, I answered the phone. Seeing the caller's name, I deliberately put it on speaker. Hello, is this Mike? Yes, what can I do for you, Mr. Boss? My daughter's eyes widened. She recognized the boss's voice. My wife also seemed to catch on and kept quiet. Sorry for the sudden contact. I heard you're canceling the face reveal scheduled with our company. Yes, that's correct. Why is that? I'll explain later. What do you mean later? Sorry, but please consider the face reveal canceled for now. Please reconsider for the sake of our company. Sorry, I'm in the middle of something. I'll call back later. Ignoring the boss's eagerness, I ended the call. Then I turned back to the two of them. Elena seemed not to fully understand, but Lily was completely frozen. Sorry for lying all this time. The part about barely making ends meet with columns was also a lie. In reality, I have a savings account where I've been depositing the money I earned. I plan to share it with you all someday. The salary I put into the family account was just a portion of it. What? Why would you keep something so important a secret? I kept it hidden because I didn't want to cause you any unnecessary trouble. Nowadays, it's too easy for someone to find out about your family or address. So, I was waiting for the right moment to tell you. At Lily's wedding, I planned to announce that I am Tom. I thought it would be the perfect surprise for you, who loves my work. When I found out you were a big fan of mine, it was the happiest moment of my life. It made all the effort I put into becoming a father you could be proud of worth it. The times I was away from home were due to deadlines or research trips. The calls were from my editor. Probably, the woman's name my daughter saw was the editor. That's when the boss approached me about revealing my face. I agreed because it was your company, Lily. But now, we're strangers. There's no need to go that far anymore. As I said that, Lily suddenly bowed her head and apologized. I'm sorry. I never imagined Dad was Tom. I'm really sorry for the terrible things I said. My daughter apologized, desperately trying to make it up to me. An editor who judges by status can't be trusted, I said firmly. It might be harsh as a father, but we're strangers now. As an author, I firmly rejected my daughter. Her head drooped, and feeling a bit sorry for her, I decided to throw her a lifeline. Elena, why don't you introduce her to someone else? Didn't you talk about the popular author Eric? I've never met such an author at any New Year's party though. When I said that, she clearly looked frustrated. It seemed she finally realized I was a popular author from the incessant ringing of my phone. After a while of silence, Elena suddenly said with a smile, Hey Mike, I've decided I won't get back together with Eric after all. I didn't know you were a famous author and wrongly suspected you of cheating. Sorry, that call was from your editor, right? I'm really sorry. From now on, I'll properly support you, Mike. So, let's start over, shall we? Seeing my wife say this so nonchalantly, I regretted ever marrying such a woman. Blinded by status and money, she flipped her stance so easily. I found it even more unforgivable. I hate people who change their attitude based on status. I'll be filing for damages against you and Eric. What? It's only natural. You even lied to Lily. Don't think you'll be forgiven. And Lily, I'll explain everything to the boss. Why? Because it's easier that way. I've already told him you're my daughter after finding out I am Tom. I asked him to make sure you wouldn't be ostracized at work. Well, it might be for a different reason now. What have you done? It's the result of your own actions. I was wrong to keep silent, but you did something you shouldn't have. You acted like victims, belittled me, and changed your stance as soon as you found out about my position. Live your life reflecting on what you've done. With that, the discussion ended. Due to Elena's extravagant spending during our marriage, we settled without dividing assets. Afterward, Lily was fired, possibly because I detailed the whole ordeal to her boss. Since then, she's been struggling, and there seems to be a crisis in her marriage with Brian. I heard this when I went out for drinks with Brian. Elena, having remarried Eric, seems to be struggling with debt repayment every day. They probably resorted to loans to pay for the damages. Eric was already known as a struggling author with no savings. Moreover, with the bad rumors from this incident, it's unlikely any company would want to work with him again. I plan to travel abroad for research as soon as I finish my current work. The damages for my wife and Eric will be spent on enjoying luxury overseas. I was wrong to keep silent, but you did something you shouldn't have. You acted like victims, belittled me, and flipped your stance as soon as you found out about my position. Live your life reflecting on what you've done, I said, bringing an end to our heated discussion. Elena and Lily looked shocked and unsure how to respond. With those final words, I left the room, feeling a strange mix of relief and sorrow. During our marriage, Elena had been extravagant with her spending. Because of this, we settled without dividing assets. It was a relief to avoid the hassle of splitting everything, but it also highlighted the financial recklessness that had marked much of our time together. I moved forward, determined to start anew. Not long after, I heard that Lily was fired from her job. I suspect it was because I had detailed our family ordeal to her boss. It wasn't out of spite, I just wanted the truth to be known. Since losing her job, Lily has been struggling to find her footing. She and Brian are facing a crisis in their marriage. Brian, who seemed so promising, now appeared overwhelmed by their shared troubles. One evening, I went out for drinks with Brian. He looked worn out, his once bright demeanor dimmed by stress. Over a few drinks, he confided in me about the difficulties he and Lily were facing. Their marriage, once filled with hope, was now strained by financial pressures and lingering mistrust. I felt a pang of guilt, but also knew that the path they were on was a result of their own actions. Meanwhile, Elena remarried Eric, her ex-husband. But their reunion was far from a fairy tale. They were struggling with debt repayment every day. To pay for the damages I had claimed, they'd probably resorted to taking out loans. Eric, who was already known as a struggling author with no savings, was in a worse situation than ever. The bad rumors from this incident spread quickly, and it was unlikely any company would want to work with him again. His once promising career was now in ruins. As for me, I had plans of my own. Once I finished my current work, I planned to travel abroad for research. The damages I'd received from Elena and Eric would be spent on enjoying luxury overseas. It was a bittersweet ending to a tumultuous chapter of my life. I had loved my family deeply, but their betrayal and deceit left scars that only time and distance could heal. The money would allow me to live comfortably, but it was the freedom and the fresh start that I valued most. I looked forward to new adventures and opportunities, leaving behind the pain and complications of the past. It was time to embrace the future and make the most of my second chance at happiness.